Hey y'all, welcome to Midweek Minis, the show where we answer your burning questions and you tell us personal stories that we get to share with the whole world. I'm Mitch Lawrence and that's my wife Leah Lawrence.
Hey y'all.
And we are super excited to bring you another personal story this week. Who's it from this time, Leah?
This time it is from one of our Possum Passel members, Casey. So this one is a little bit long, but bear with me. It's worth it. It's super creepy. I've already read through this one. So,
okay.
Just once again, it's kind of long, but it's worth it. So here we go.
All right.
It says, "Hi guys, I have a personal story from when I was really young. My mom and dad built a house while they were pregnant with me. They'd already had my brother 2 years before and had finished the house shortly before I was born. To my knowledge, there is nothing special about the land. No native burial grounds or anything like that. And since the house was new, I don't imagine there being anything attached to it. So it makes these happenings all the more strange. Things were great at first, but as the months passed by, after I was born, things in my parents' marriage went south.
Oh.
Part of me believes that it was my fault because my mom is super maternal, and with 2 kids, dad came second. Either way, they began to...
sounds like,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Either way, they began to fight, and emotions in the house were negative and stale. You walked in and felt sad, is how my grandmother said it felt.
Mm-hmm.
Not long after the relationship struggles, my brother began seeing things in his room. At this point in time, he was 3.5, and I was 1 or so. He would see people, eyes, animals, etc. One particular spook was the fireman, as my brother put it. He was most likely thinking about the firefighters in heavy coats and the broad-rimmed hats. He would tell my mom that the fireman looked like a shadow and would get really close to him and would talk to him. He never could remember what was said, but he did mention that he couldn't move. I believe his interpretation of the figure was an innocent take on the classic vision of the shadow man that wears the hat and that people see when they experience sleep paralysis.
Mm-hmm.
Never having the unfortunate opportunity to experience the phenomenon myself, I assume it is truly terrifying. After months of hearing my brother scream in the night, my mom and dad decided to move my brother into my room, hoping that being directly across from them and sharing the room with me would help calm him. Note, at this point, I had never experienced anything to my recollection. Remember, I was barely 2 at this point, and memory from that time isn't something I was cursed with. That is, until they put him in my room. Let me set the scene of the room. It was at the end of the hall directly across from my parents' room. When you walked in the door, my crib was to the right. Yes, I slept in a crib well on into my toddler years. And my brother's bed, which I think was a twin or a full size, was to the left of the door and had no footboard.
Was it a race car? Was it a race car bed?
I'm going to pretend it was.
Okay.
Anyway, being in a crib, I sat higher so I could see over my brother's bed and could see most of the floor in front of it. Shortly after he moved in, things started to get even worse with my parents. Their fights turned violent, borderline psychotic. My mom told me stories about some of the horrible things Dad used to do, like running around the house in the middle of the night while revving a chainsaw, perhaps an attempt to get her to abandon the house, making for an easy divorce. She may have been embellishing. Anyone from a broken home can tell you that the horror stories of how parents try to win their children over. Mm-hmm. So I can't tell if that was true or not, but I'm sure there is a degree of truth to some of the shenanigans. Needless to say, it was heading towards divorce, and my brother and I were caught in the crosshairs. My dad started working night shifts, and it just became me, my brother, and my mom in the house at night. Right before things got so bad that we went through a divorce, I began seeing things too. Only at night, only when we were all supposed to be asleep. The thing that sticks out in my mind the most is what I call the wah-wah.
I don't even want to know.
Yep.
Mm-mm.
It is the single most influential memory, not to mention the first, of my life. It makes me believe in the paranormal and is the primary driver for my faith. The first time I saw it, I was woken up by a gasp. I peered out between the rails of my crib to see my brother pressed up against his headboard with his blanket clutched in his hands. I remember he didn't look around and didn't make any other sounds. He just stared straight ahead. I turned my head to see down at the foot of the bed, and saw what was the most terrifying yet somehow innocent sight. It was what appeared to be a sock puppet. Imagine a demonic lamb chop standing straight up from the foot of the bed like a snake in charm pose. It was black with white glowing eyes. It barely moved aside from looking at my brother and moving its mouth while making the sound wah, 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 in a deep, raspy, whispered tone.
All right, let's get into those questions.
I could still see the front of my brother's bed, which was illuminated by a street light outside. There wasn't anyone at the foot of the bed. It was almost as if there was a very long arm popping out from under the bed. Shortly after I saw it, I fell back asleep. I saw this thing several times and watched as it terrorized my brother. Not once did it ever acknowledge me. I don't know why, but I never brought it to my mom's attention. I never discussed it with anyone, and later in life just shrugged it off as a nightmare. The day I turned 3, my parents signed divorce papers, and my mom, brother, and I moved in with my mom's parents for a few years, and my nightmares and the activity surrounding my brother stopped. Well, a few months back, my mom was asking me about my childhood and was trying to reassure herself that she did what she could to make sure we were happy. The subject got on the topic of the months leading up to the divorce, and I started telling her about what I thought was just my ridiculous wah-wah nightmare. Her demeanor changed, and she got really quiet and concerned looking. After I finished my story about how lifelike it was, she told me that my brother told her about the exact same thing all those years ago. He knew how to articulate the experience and told her every little detail. There is no way I learned this from my brother, let alone remember the visual that is forever imprinted on my mind. It is worth mentioning that my brother has started to claim he sees things again. He has always been more in touch with his paranormal instincts than me, so I can only hope it isn't something bad that's following him, but I can't help but think it's malicious. I hope you found this creepy, or at least ridiculously hilarious.
Oh no. We found it creepy.
Yeah, no, it's super creepy. So that was Casey's story, and I might not fucking sleep tonight.
That's what I was saying. That's one thing that still, I won't say still, but like, that's one thing that's always scared me the most is, as a kid, I wasn't, people always said, are you afraid of the dark? Well, I don't think anybody's actually afraid of the dark. It's, you can't see everything that's happening, and there could be a fucking demon sock puppet at the foot of your bed.
Oh, I hate it.
And you don't know.
Oh, I hate it.
And as a child, I really hated, I don't know, I guess I just kind of hated sleeping. Like, I had trouble staying at friends' houses and stuff because it was, unknown and dark, and I hated it.
I was never afraid of the dark. I never slept with a nightlight. I was that kid that needed it to be completely pitch dark and silent to go to sleep, and I'm still like that, so...
Not me, and I need noise to sleep. Like, I always slept with a box fan growing up, and now we just sleep with rain sounds all night.
Yeah, we've got a little thing that does the white noise for us. So, and I sleep with earplugs, so I can barely hear anything, and that white noise drowns out any kind of noise that might happen from Mitch's CPAP. So,
I think that might be part of it, because when it's just silent, that to me is way creepier than there being noise around.
Oh no, I love silent, just pitch black, silent.
Nope.
And just make me super warm. Ugh.
Now, see, I like to be cold when I sleep. This is why we don't work that well, everyone. Well, actually, Leah we don't have our bed sheets or blankets tucked in at all, because Leah uses blankets, and I usually just sleep with a sheet on.
If I had to use the same blankets as him, we would never, because I burrito myself in 3 layers of blankets. One of those blankets is a 25-pound weighted blanket. I'm in for the long haul in those blankets, and I think Mitch would sweat just looking at them. So,
every once in a while, if I take a nap or something, because I almost never take a nap, but sometimes I feel like it, or if Leah's gone for some reason, I'll maybe use the weighted blanket, just because the weight does feel nice and it's comfortable, but most of the time, no. I just have a sheet on, and that's it. So, and anyway, what I was getting to the point that we have completely lost here.
Yes.
that still freaks me out. Late night, pitch black stuff. Trying to sleep, still kind of not so much into adulthood, but when I was a kid, 100% I was terrified of just things coming in the night.
Y'all, and the last time Mitch was away and I was staying here by myself, I had the dogs, all that stuff. It was like 4:15 in the morning, like pitch fucking black outside, and we have motion detector cameras in our ring on our front of our house. It's just 4:45 in the morning or 4:15 in the morning. I get a notification on my phone that says, there's motion at your front door.
Well, it also goes off on the dots. We have Echo Dots in the house, so that announces it as well.
Scared the absolute motherfucking daylights out of me. Just a random stranger walking through our yard at 4:15 in the fucking morning. Oh.
This is what you get when you live next to meth heads.
Yeah, I didn't go back to sleep. So that is, people coming to my door is something that actually scares me. Like being pitch black, I don't care. But like even in the middle of the day, like if I don't expect someone to show up and it's not a delivery truck, like fuck off. I'm not answering the door. That's why I have a video doorbell. Nope.
Yeah. But anyway, that story was sufficient enough. I guess let's do some questions.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's do it. We can get a couple in. I'm stuck on something here. The bag is. Fucking dog. All right, so let's do some questions. We can get a couple before we have to wrap this fucker up. All right, let's see. First one is from Sam. It's a very simple question. Best gourd? Go.
Best gourd.
I'll just say pumpkin. Can I just claim pumpkin?
You can claim pumpkin.
All right, claim
pumpkin. Is a
pumpkin.
squash a gourd?
It is. A squash is a gourd.
Then I'd go squash.
Yeah. I love squash though, y'all. I fucking love it. And Leah don't know shit about no squash. You don't. You'll fry it every once in a while.
I was
like in the oven.
I like to fry it, and then I also like to use a mandolin slicer and slice it really thin and bake it in the oven with a little bit of olive oil and like salt and pepper on top of it.
Yeah.
That's just delicious.
My favorite type of squash is the kind my mom used to make, where it was just kind of stewed. Like it's just squash, but almost in like a soup type of thing, and it's
my
just,
mom used to make it too.
Right.
She'd
just
have
with
one
a
of
bunch
those
of
little
salt and pepper and butter, and it's delicious.
She had one of those little ceramic soup pot bowl things with a little handle on it.
Yeah.
And she'd used to make that, and I thought it was gross, so I never ate it. But she'd make it for herself a lot.
Yeah. But that's all you got to do is chop it up, and you just basically stew it, and it's got a little bit of liquid left with it, salt and pepper, some butter. Fuck yeah.
Mom used to put breadcrumbs over the top of it too.
You can if you want to get fucking wild, you can do that. But yeah, so we've got pumpkin and squash. We're not crazy into gourds, I don't think.
Although
in this house.
I'm gonna amend my answer because my new answer is loofah. Because did you know a fucking loofah is a gourd?
Yeah, I did.
Because I told
plant.
you.
Yeah.
I'm the first one that told you because I had no idea. And then I was like, yeah, a loofah. Anyway, you can grow these loofah gourds, and basically they grow like any gourd. And then when you harvest them, you let them dry out, and then you cut them open, and the inside is a sponge. Like, the actual you can eat loofah. Like, it's an actual plant that you can make food out of. I don't know that I would recommend it, but the sponges are freaking cool.
Yeah.
So I'm going to amend it to loofah. Loofah is my favorite gourd.
I didn't know till like last week that a sponge was something that just occurs in nature. Like, it's just a sponge. Like, sea sponges are basically what you have in your kitchen.
Yeah, they're animals.
I didn't know that. I had no idea. I don't know, Leah. I didn't care to learn when I was a child.
I'm just learning that you just learned this.
No, it wasn't a week ago, but it was like within the last decade that I learned that sponges were a living thing.
Wow.
Yeah, because I knew about sea sponges, but I thought it was just what they were called because they looked like sponges, like kitchen sponges.
No.
I really did. And then, what do you know? No, it's just that we fucking kill them and use them in the kitchen.
Yes.
That's why it's a sponge.
No, I mean, the ones that you use in the kitchen are made out of cellulose. They're they're not sea sponges. They're manufactured sponges, but modeled after natural sponges. So.
Another one from Sam. Leah, talk about nudie suits.
Oh, okay.
Got some.
I can do that.
We got some splaining to do.
Okay, so there was... I need to Google it to make sure I've got his full name right.
Sam.
No. 'Cause
Formerly
it's,
Pip.
Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. His name is Nudie Cohn, and he was a designer in Nashville. He's from the Ukraine, but I don't think he was from Nashville, actually. He designed for people in Nashville. He set up basically a tailoring shop, and he dressed all of the country music stars in the 70s. So if there is one of those country music star outfits that's embroidered to fuck and it looks like just psychedelic 70s cowboy, that's a Nudie suit. And he also did a lot of styling for some of the mod bands of the time. And
what's a mod band?
Sort of like the weird UK little punk kind of stuff, you know what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense to you, but anyway, you can still... The Nudie's Rodeo Tailors is actually a shop that you can still go to in Nashville. It is very expensive stuff, but it's a bunch of really heavily embroidered... like Western wear stuff. It's mainly made for people that are, doing shows in it and stuff like that. But it's a very specific style, and that, Ukrainian tailor made a whole style on it. And it's just, I don't know, it was really cool. I don't know what else to say about it other than Nudie suits are fucking just iconic, I guess, in Nashville culture.
Okay.
He died in 1984. That's all I got.
Well, thank you for Googling that.
Yeah, I Googled it for his last name, but he died in 1984 at the age of 81. He's from Kiev.
Well, and now we know about nudie suits.
Yep.
I guess. Oh, that was fun.
Yeah, seriously, Google it, though, because they're, absolutely fabulous. He, designed for... Johnny Cash and Conway Twitty and just anybody that was anybody at that time period in Nashville had a nudie suit. Dolly had a bunch of it. He designed for everybody. It was absurd, and I think that was the point.
Okay. Another one from Sam. Jessica or Ashley? And I believe we're discussing The Simpsons.
Yeah, definitely The Simpsons.
Go ahead, Leah.
If you were to ask me that when I was in, junior high, I would have probably said Ashley, because I would have been like, oh, she's more dark, she's punk, she's not. But, she was the more hardcore, gritty.
Yeah. She had an image.
I liked her music better. I mean, I don't know that she sang any of it, but, I liked her music better. But... nowadays, I like Jessica Simpson because she has a very nice plus-size ladies line. She has some great shoes for an affordable price.
I just realized something.
What?
We had a question last week from Sam. I think it was last week. No. It might still be in the bag, but it's like, what's a song that you need to make sure Michelle Branch sung or something like that? And it would be Pieces of Me. That was an Ashley Simpson song. I could have sworn that was Michelle Branch.
I don't think that was in there. I think that's still in the bag.
Okay. Well, we'll get there eventually, and remind me, y'all, that it's Pieces of Me. Go ahead, Leah. What was the rest of your thing?
I honestly don't remember. Okay. Oh, yeah, just Jessica Simpson. I picked Jessica Simpson.
I was going to say Jessica, too, because at least she was fun stupid when they had their reality show, her and Nick Lachey. Ashley Simpson is just a freaking moron, and goes on national TV and lip syncs on a live performance. But then she did try to actually perform. I think it was the Rose Bowl or something, one of the college football games, and it was god awful. So maybe she should have stuck to lip syncing. But anyway, Ashley Simpson flamed out. Does anybody remember Ryan Cabrera? No. Speaking of, that was her boyfriend who was a thing for a minute. You don't remember Ryan Cabrera?
He was at Disney World singing with Joey Fatone when I was there in November. Jesus. So I've seen him. Jesus. I just don't really know who he is. He had a really nice voice. I just don't know who he is.
Oh, Leah.
It was Ryan Cabrera with Joey Fatone and friends.
And by friends, they mean like David Schwimmer was there.
No.
Matt LeBlanc. They were singing.
No. Joey Fatone was there. Chris Kirkpatrick was there. He was the and friends, I guess. Ryan Cabrera. And then like someone that played the electric violin who was really talented, but I don't know who they were. And then just a really good backup band. I don't know. And they sang a Backstreet Boys song at the end, which was really weird. Like half of NSYNC decided to sing Backstreet Boys. I don't know. It was weird, but whatever.
Did you enjoy it though?
I mean, I had just had a super duper panic attack at the time, so no. I was having a real bad time. Huh?
What'd you have a panic attack for? What happened?
Long story, but anyway.
All the people?
It was at Epcot. I was super duper fucking drunk. Like, I had just drank around the world. We had just finished drinking around the world. We were going to sit in to do this, and I just had a fucking panic attack. It was terrible. But at any rate, we got through it, and then we got churros, and yeah, it was good.
Okay. Well, this will be a fun thing, a fun question to end on, also from Sam again. I'm not exactly sure the context of this, so stick with me. Gayest thing by a straight person, and then in parentheses, inspired by the raucous Moby Dick versus a separate peace debate in our otherwise tranquil house. I don't know what that part means, but I mean, I have lots of gayest things by straight people. I was in a fraternity, okay?
So,
Jesus.
I am friends with him, like, just the personal Facebook. And I believe what I think was going on was that he was rereading Moby Dick for the first time in a while, and he realized that Moby Dick is just super duper gay.
Yeah, he's flamboyant as hell, right?
Yeah.
Well, the book. The book.
It's pretty.
No, the whale. The
whale is just
super freaking
sperm whale. Am I right?
Oh, Leah, that's not funny. That's offensive.
No, it's just apparently it's super duper gay. And I don't honestly know because the last time I read Moby Dick was in like 8th grade when I had nothing better to do because I had a bum knee. So
I had friends.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. But I had to sit out of PE because I had just had a knee surgery in 8th grade. So I had a really long time to sit in the library by myself.
What's the context of the question here?
Yeah, just what is the gayest, like, because a straight man, apparently Herman Melville wrote Moby Dick, and he assumes that it was a straight author writing an incredibly gay piece of literature.
Right.
So what is the...
And he said versus a separate piece.
Yes, and a separate piece is also another book, and I'm assuming his husband believes that is, in fact, the gayest thing by a straight man. So...
Moby Dick, the novel, is very gay, but it was written by a straight man. Okay. I follow. I don't have an answer for this. I really don't. What do you have, Leah?
I also don't really have a thing for this. Like, I just...
y'all, this kind of stuff comes up in our house a lot.
It does, but so, like, I don't...
I'm not entirely sure how to answer this.
But you just said you had, like, a ton.
I got one.
Okay.
It's not a contender for gayest ever, but it happened last week. So Leah said, I'm going to get your Valentine's present, and she came in, and there is a bakery here that, Sam, you'll know what it is because it's also in Birmingham, called Edgar's. And she knows that I love the lemon squares, and she bought me a box of 9 lemon squares, and I saw it, and I like clapped my hands and went, ooh, lemon squares, like that. So maybe that...
No, that's just you being stereotypical about homosexuality, Mitchell.
But I wasn't, though. I was excited. That was genuine excitement.
Yeah, but I mean, like, just straight people can be excited, Mitchell.
But
it's not
in a very gay way.
No,
it's very gay.
No, I don't think that's not. I don't.
Okay,
I don't think so.
That's not fair. But then Samus ate 5 of them today.
Yeah, she did,
knocked the box off
she's a hoe.
Of the stove and ate my last 5 lemon squares. It's a good thing I took 4 of them to work last week, and I have 2 of them left. So they're waiting for me. I can have lunch dessert.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. I got 2 of them left.
But yeah, I just don't have a good answer for that.
No, me either. It just happens a lot in this house. It really does, but not like gayest thing ever level, you know.
And once again, I think it's more of a work of fiction or a work of art of some sort, like a thing. I don't know. I'll have to give that one more thought.
Okay, we'll come back to it. we'll do it next week. We'll answer it for real
Okay.
next week
Deal.
as a precursor to the Monster Madness. We'll
Excellent.
do that. Okay.
Good choice.
All right, y'all. Well, Midweek Minis was fun this week.
Yep.
I hope y'all enjoyed it, and I hope that you sleep tonight. You should definitely be listening to this show right before bed, by the way.
Definitely.
I think we're perfect for that, to put you right to sleep. All right. Well, this was fun. Leah, did you have fun?
So much fun.
Okay. Well, we will see y'all this weekend for our main episode.
Bye, y'all.